I try to celebrate life in the videos I make, but I've come to realize that in order to appreciate life, I need to learn to accept that death is an inevitable part of learning how to live. The recent death of YouTuber Christina Grimmie is a reminder that we can never really take anything for granted. I believe I'm in the same boat as the majority of us here. At one point in our lives, we discovered Grimmie on YouTube. We began to enjoy the energy she was sharing with us through the videos she made. We began following her story, and we believed in Team Grimmie, which allowed us to continue to support what she was doing and what she represented. Her sudden death is a reminder that life is brief. I had a friend whose life was also taken away at the age of 22, just like Christina, and I think I want to open up a bit and share a little bit of that with you. His name was Marc Bansh. I met him in 2012, but in that brief encounter, getting to know him, his life brought more meaning to me than many I've known for much longer. I had met Marc through my sister. At that time, he had just completed his pilot training certification, and he was always excited to talk about how exciting it was to fly a plane. During his transition after graduation, he took an internship with my mom's company. And at the same time, I just got back from Melbourne and had been in KK, and I was helping my mom out a lot, so we grew really close. We enjoyed playing music together, so whenever there was instruments around, we would pick it up and just have a quick random jam session anytime we could. He was also very curious about what I did on YouTube and would always offer me a helping hand if I needed some help, which we never got around to actually make a video, but his belief in what I did came as a very strong support in believing in myself. Soon he found employment with an aviation company and he was off. I too found new employment that time in KL, so in order to commemorate took a night out in town and had some fun. Little did we know, that night we were about to be victims of a random attack. I don't really like talking about this, except with the people that were involved that night. It really never seemed significant to talk about because it was just a random attack. Wrong place at the wrong time, and there really wasn't any significant reason behind it. But because of the circumstances that surrounded it, it built a foundation that strengthened the bond of our friendship. I'm not going to go into full detail about it, but all I want to say is that we were attacked by about 15 people, 15 guys that night. I remember not knowing what was going on and looking over at Marc, and he was just as confused as I was. Being hit wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I didn't retaliate because just in case they may have had weapons hidden somewhere that we didn't know about. When we found an opening, both Marc and I got the hell out of there, ran from the situation, and just found safety somewhere else. No one was seriously injured that night, just a few bumps, cuts, and bruises. But the insignificance of that moment created significance in our lives. So many questions were left in our head. Anything could have happened. Someone had a knife, someone could have been stabbed, someone could have actually been killed at that very moment, at that point in time. Thankfully, nothing like that happened. After that incident, Marc went on to become a pilot. We kept in touch every time we got a chance to, and we were planning to meet up the next time he made a trip home. But tragedy struck sooner than later, and in October 2013, Marc was co-piloting a plane that unfortunately ended up crashing and taking his life with him. I can still remember the day it happened. Marc's life was full of plans and pursuits and passion, and his death was a product of doing something he loved. Was it fair that it happened to him? Of course not. But death is never fair. It just happens. And when it happens, we grieve and call out. We get angry at the world. And we feel sad. And we suppress our sadness. And then, as life goes on, we move on too. But I've also realized that all the energy that Marc put into his plans and his pursuit transcended beyond his life. Marc's death may have not meant anything to you, but it did to me. And that energy he brought in his life still drives me to do what I'm doing today. The one thing we always remember is how someone could make us feel, how they made us feel. Sometimes these feelings can't be expressed in words. That doesn't mean these feelings don't exist. In her time here, Christina Grimmie connected herself to millions of people around the world, and her life will continue to inspire even beyond her reach. All because she believed in sharing her expression of love. I remember how she made me feel, as I remember how Marc made me feel. We cannot escape death, but we can always live a life worth living. Okay, let's crack open a beer.
Oh, I already have one cracked open.
Oh, you suck. No, you're fine.
I can open up another one, but then I'll be double parked, mate. That's some Aussie slang for you.
Yo, cook meals, and you know, the occasional...
Adam, can you help me to buy some eggs?
Hey, Mom.